How's it going, everyone? It's your boy Rainbow Star coming at you another Dokkan battle video, and today we got part 3, probably the final part of the team building series that I've been doing here, mainly this week. So today, well, in the first video we talked about just leader skills and making sure your team is built around the said leader skill, making sure that everybody's getting your boosts, everybody's awakened, all that kind of stuff. The second video we're talking about links, being making sure that everybody is getting similar key links, making sure people have the correct attack links so that they're hitting harder than they usually would without them. In this video I want to talk about setting up rotations as well as support units, because this is like the meta of the game currently. So I have 3 teams that I'm going to be showing you guys today that I just put together that run very well, and where you set up rotations and you have support units floating. Floating means you always put them in the 3rd slot, and rotations is those 2 cards are always in the first 2 slots so that they stay together. In case you guys didn't know, because I know there's a lot of new players into the game, that the first 2 cards, like say on a turn where you have 3 cards, or your 3 units, the units in the first 2 slots will show up in 2 turns, but the card or unit in the last slot, the 3rd one all the way to the right, will show up 3 turns from then. So those first 2 cards, when you put them on, when you always have them there, that's called a rotation, where they will always come back every 2 turns, because those are usually your harder hitting cards or your better cards that you want to keep together. So on this team, what we have is UI Goku, as well as Jiren as 1 rotation. These guys share Godly Power, which is a 15% attack link, Fierce Battle, which is a 15% attack link, as well as Tournament of Power, which is a 3 key link. So those 2 guys, if you keep them on a rotation together, they'll always be getting an extra 30% attack as well as 3 key. So it's very easy for them to super attack. Only needing 3 key is very easy. You'll be able to get that most of the time, unless the key on the board just isn't set up very well. Your second rotation, which is going to be your hardest hitting rotation, is going to be LR Beerus and Tech Beerus, because he just got his EZA. So this is what's known as the Beerus rotation, as you would think. So the thing is that these guys also share Godly Power, which basically this entire team has, because it is Realm of Gods. So you would think everybody would have Godly Power. I think that there might be a few cards on it that don't, but almost everybody does. They share Godly Power, I believe the Innocence, Connoisseur, Shocking Speed, and Fierce Battle. I just want to make sure about this, because I do believe Beerus has 7 links. He does only have 6 links. So I'm actually incorrect here. They share the entire same link set besides Fierce Battle, and besides Legendary Power, sorry, which is obviously only for LRs. So they share 15% from Godly Power, an extra 10% from Prodigy, so that's 25, 10% from the Innocence, so that's 35, and Fierce Battle, which is 15%. So they share 50% attack. They have 2 key from Shocking Speed, and then they actually gain, like, they heal you for 5% HP. The good thing about these healing links, like, you think, oh, 5%, that's not that much, but it actually activates for both characters, so you actually heal 10% HP, which is a lot. Like, whenever I run this team, it has around 400,000 HP, so having these 2 linked together, every turn they show up, you're healing 40,000 approximately. And LR Beerus will heal you an extra 7% on his 12 key super attack, and 10%, correct? Or is it 12%? 12% on his 18 key super attack. So this rotation could possibly heal you on a 400,000 HP team. It'll heal you like what, 85,000, 90,000 close to, if you don't get hit. Like this rotation is very, very damaging. As you guys may have seen in my other video when I was doing a showcase for Tech Beerus, is that he gets over a 3 million attack stat with only one dupe, and then LR Beerus can break 4 or 5 million. So these guys are definitely very, very incredible. They hit consistently, but the thing is, not I believe, is it God Goku? No, Topo? Topo is the only other card on this team who has shocking speed. So these guys can struggle for ki a little bit when they're not on rotation together. That's why building rotations can be so important, because when these guys are linked up together, it's a bit easier for them to get super attacks. They'll start off with 8 ki, which isn't too bad, but sometimes you can have issues with that. And when but if they're not on rotation together, they can struggle a bit. That's why you want to build rotations. That's why you want to make sure you get them as fast as possible. And then your 2 floating units, or your 3rd slot units, are God Goku, this tech one, because he does fine damage by himself, but he randomly changes key spheres of a certain type to rainbow, which is very big for the mainly the LR Beerus rotation, because that's your harder hitting one, because it opens up different more key paths, so that LR Beerus can sometimes, instead of getting 6 key, will sometimes be able to get like 10 or so. Changing key to rainbow is a very, very powerful ability, especially when you're helping out LRs. And then God of Destruction Topo is a regular support unit instead of just a orb changer. He gives all allies attack and defense up 35%, and all enemies defense minus 50. So say you have a rotation, you have the LR Beerus rotation. They put up together like a 7 million attack stat by themselves, probably something like that. That'll get up to like 8 million instead, because the point of support units nowadays is because attack and the percentages for leader skills are getting so high. It's more beneficial to have units that help your harder hitting ones hit harder than just having hard hitters on the team. Because like say on here, you could also run STR Rose or LR Vegito Blue or Tech Vegito Blue. Just running like only hard hitters can actually lower the amount of damage than having weaker cards that make your harder hitting cards run better. That's the power of support units. It's been a big thing ever since the 120% typing metas came out, like Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegeta, or Physical Cooler, or anything like that. Since those guys came out, since those attack buffs are so high, having support units is very, very important, because it just helps cards hit so much harder. So the next team build that I have for you guys is a full power and movie bosses team. This one is actually all movie boss. There are cards on here that are full power as well, but they're all movie bosses to begin with. So we have the LR Beerus rotation as well. Very powerful rotation. You could also switch that out for the LR Bojack rotation that we have right here, but this is the one that we're going to be running on this team for now. And the second rotation is physical Super Saiyan Broly as well as LR Broly. These guys share Saiyan Warrior Race, 700 attack, which really isn't that big, but it does help just that little bit. As well as Prepared for Battle for 2 key, Fierce Battle for 15% attack, and Super Saiyan for 10% attack. Unconditional, that is. So you have 25% attack and 2 key unconditional and an extra 700 attack. They also have Berserker, which isn't really that good. Like I wish they would like up this to maybe like 70%, because it is only 25% attack. It could be like a smaller big bad bosses if they ever decide to up it a little bit, but it is an extra 20% conditional attack. So if you're on Super Battle Road and your health drops low, these guys will be hitting much harder together. So you guys would want to run those two as a rotation. Physical Broly does not struggle for ki at all. He'll always be supering because he gives himself ki on his passive. But LR Broly, he'll have 8 ki, which, because Physical Broly doesn't have to worry about ki, you can just use him to set up ki for LR Broly. So it's definitely very, very easy for him to super attack. And whenever he does super attack, he does super twice as well. So it's a very damaging rotation, and you're getting at least 3 AoE attacks until Physical Broly transforms. So again, it's a very powerful rotation for Super Battle Road. I've actually cleared an entire like stage of it when there was 5 enemies with 2 Physical Brolys and LR Broly. I just if you guys may have seen that one, that's a little bit of an older video, but I just ghost ushered that turn and those guys just cleared the entire field because of them attacking every single person. Right, as I was saying, sorry my brother interrupted me, as he usually does. Somebody always has to do something while I'm recording. But as our support units for this team, we got this free-to-play Golden Frieza from the Broly movie. He's a very good tank at the end of the rotation, and he also gives movie bosses category allies Ki 2 and HP and attack and defense 30% on his passive, which is definitely very good. It helps everybody super that little bit more, especially when he's on rotation on the LR Beerus rotation. He also, I do believe he shares shocking speed, so if you decide to put LR Beerus in the second slot, put Tech Beerus, LR Beerus, and then him. LR Beerus will actually start off with 12 ki, so it'd definitely be a lot easier for him to get that 18 ki super attack, which hits so much harder. And then our secondary guy is Metal Cooler, the intelligence one, not the new one. He also has shocking speed, which helps out LR Beerus, but he gives extreme type allies Ki 2 and all allies 30% attack. So the only problem with him is that the LR Beerus rotation, they're both hero units, they're super units. So he doesn't give the ki, but he still does give that 30% attack. So, but him having shocking speed does allow him to give some extra ki to that rotation. So it definitely helps out a lot having these two guys floating. And just so you guys know, like on these teams, you just have the other leader also floating as that 7th unit. So another UI Goku or another full power Broly. Or if you want, also on this team, you can run an AGL Turles friend. Because if, like, I personally don't have AGL Turles, he would take the slot of the Intelligence Metal Cooler if I did. I do not have him, but you can also run him as a friend. So you have another support unit that's floating around who is very, very powerful. So the last team that I want to talk about today is this Resurrected Warrior team. Yes, I know I don't have this guy awakened yet. I've had him for a while, but I've just been so busy working on other stuff like grinding the LR Cooler team and all that, or the free-to-play Cooler team and all that. But another set of rotations that you can run is obviously Golden Frieza, Angel Golden Frieza from the Tournament of Power, as well as Tech Golden Frieza. Now on JP, this is definitely a much more powerful rotation because this guy just got his EZA and is very, very good. But these guys, they share Universe's Most Malevolent, Shocking Speed, Revival, as well as Fierce Battle. So these guys share 30% attack as well as 4 ki. So they'll be starting off with 10, which makes it very, very easy for them to super attack. Yeah, it's just a very simple rotation. You want to let Tech Golden Frieza tank the attacks, and then have Angel Golden Frieza do a little bit more damage. Nothing too crazy. It's just a very solid rotation. Nothing too powerful. But we have the LR Bojack rotation, where this guy, you can either run the TUR of LR Bojack, this Bojack, the Physical World Tournament Bojack, and even the SR STR Bojack that awakens into a full power Bojack. You can even run him. They all work just as well as that, but some versions of them do hit harder than the other ones. So these guys, they share almost the exact same link set, besides Revival and Legendary Power. So they share 2 ki from the Hera clan, 2 ki from Shattering the Limit, so that's 4 ki. And then they have Galactic Warriors, which is 20% attack, and Thirst for Conquest, which is 15. So that's 4 ki and 35% unconditional attack. But if they do drop below 80% HP during the turn, which doesn't happen that much because of how tanky they are, they do get an extra 25% attack and defense. So that would actually bump them up to 60% attack, 4 ki, and 25% defense. So it is a very, very devastating rotation. The reason the TUR of Bojack works out better is because he has both Shattering the Limit and Revival. So that he actually brings him up to 12 ki, so he only needs that 6 ki to get to his 18 ki super attack. It is a very, very powerful rotation, and anything that you decide to run them on, you can run them on Resurrected Warriors, movie bosses, full power, and time travelers. You cannot run them on joined forces because the full power Bojack cards are just them. So you can run these guys on a lot of very, very good teams. And we also have this Metal Cooler on this team as well, because unlike on the other team, we don't have any super units, so that Extreme Ki 2 will always be active. So that's definitely helping us out a lot, and that 30% attack, very, very good. Also have Shattering the Limit with the Bojack rotation, which definitely helps out with super attacks. And this big boy right here, fully EZA'd Kid Buu, physical, he is so good. He gives Ki 2 and attack and defense up 50% when HP is 80% or above, and then 30% attack and defense when you're 80% or below. This guy is a very, very, very powerful support unit, and you probably want to run him on just about any team that he's on. So yeah, this is just the final stage of just team building in general. The meta of today's Dokkan, if you want to have the most damaging rotations as possible, you really want to run LRs with a card that runs very well with them, like the Beerus rotation, the Bojack rotation. On this team, I believe a optimal setup for the most damaging has LR Broly linked up with LR Gohan, who share Fierce Battle, Super Saiyan, as well as Prepared for Battle and Legendary Power. Like LRs on rotations are just super, super powerful. Even like on the Super Saiyan 4s teams, the LR Super Saiyan 4s, you want to run them with, that's why Goku's team is so good, because you can run Super Saiyan 4 AGL Vegeta, the original one, as well as full power Super Saiyan 4 Goku, the tech one. You can link them up where they have Super Saiyan, GT, Prepared for Battle, Saiyan Roar. Like those rotations, the amount of attack links and ki that they give each other is just so crazy. But yeah, guys, that's the meta of Dokkan as it is. We have hard-hitting rotations with support units helping them get their strongest super attacks. But if you guys have any other questions that you guys want me to talk about when it comes to regards of team building, let me know in the comments. If you like the video, make sure to leave a like, make sure to subscribe, and until next time, deuces.